God for Coach Greg. Because now we can have cake for breakfast and not feel guilty about it. 2 recipes in one here. You got yourself a donut tray. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my kitchen where we cook anabolic goodness. Today we're diving back into the Coach Greg Doucette Ultimate Anabolic Cookbook 2.0 and we're taking a look at the carrot apple muffins. Man, these look delicious. And if they taste half as good as the blueberry muffin recipe, are we in for a treat? My hope is by the end, they're gonna taste a little bit like carrot cake, one of my personal favorites, but we'll see when we get there. By the way, thanks for all the great feedback on the cinnamon raisin squares. Got a lot of great suggestions from you guys. I think we're gonna be able to fix that one too, just like we did the chocolate explosion cookies. Stay tuned for that one. But for today, let's get back into our carrot apple muffins by taking a look at the ingredients right here. Let's see them. Egg whites, vanilla extract, unsweetened applesauce, shredded carrots, some homemade oat flour, Splenda, salt, baking powder, ground cinnamon, casein protein powder, and our crushed apples. That's it. That's all the ingredients. Now let's get to cooking. All right, guys, so the first thing we have to put in is our oat flour. Homemade oat flour, 190 grams going in. Next, we're gonna add in our protein powder, vanilla-based, 100 grams, which is about 3 scoops. We're gonna weigh it out for accuracy. 100 grams on the money. Next up, we need 4 grams of our baking powder. 4 grams on the money. Next up, we need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. There it is. And then we need 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Going in. And what's a Coach Greg recipe without a little 0-calorie sweetener? 10 packets of Splenda going in. And there is all of our dry ingredients. Now we're going to mix this and then sift it together. And we want to sift this one through. Again, it's a baking recipe, so we want to make sure we get that baking powder very well dispersed amongst all of our mix here. If you want to be lazy, you can just use a whisk. If you want to make gains, sifter it up. All right, dry ingredients done. Let's move on to the wet ingredients. Short and sweet here. Smash the like button. Tell me what your favorite food is. Comment section below. And please, don't put anything down below. What do you like to eat? Tell me. First wet ingredient we have up is our shredded carrots. This was not easy. I'll show you guys exactly how I did it as I'm talking about it here. I actually ended up using a cheese grater and I had baby carrots on hand, so I shredded those. Not the easiest way to go about this. You might actually be able to find shredded carrots at the grocery store, which would be a lot easier. If you can't, I would still use the bigger carrots. They will be much easier to take through the shredder. This took a long time and was very tedious and painful, but here we have it right here. 200 grams of carrots going in. And almost as painful as the carrots was trying to figure out how to do crushed apples. Not as easy as you might think to find out. Apparently it's not in a lot of recipes. I had to kind of figure it out on my own. Basically, as you can see here, what I did was I just chopped up our apples into little small pieces and then I crushed them with a kitchen knife and it worked okay. I think this is going to be as close as you can get to actually crushing an apple at home. Probably going to mix the best way doing it this way as well. So let's put these in here. 100 grams of crushed fresh Granny Smith apple. Next up, we need 185 grams of unsweetened applesauce, which is also 3/4 of a cup. We are, of course, going to weigh it. Take a little bit out, add a little bit back in. 185 on the money. Then we need 10 grams of our vanilla extract. This one you want to pour slow because it adds up super quick. You guys hear that oven preheating in the background? 10 grams. Done. And of course, a good part of the anabolic goodness is going to come from our egg whites. So we are going to be measuring out 180 grams of these, also 3/4 of a cup. You're always much better weighing it than you are measuring it. If you saw Coach Greg's video on measuring, the interpretation of what a cup is varies greatly amongst where you live. Grams, only way to do it. Here we go. 180 going in. And 180 on the money. And hey, speaking of whisks, why don't we use this for our wet ingredients? Can't cipher this one. It just gets super simple from here. Now all we have to do, add our dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, which we conveniently have right here ready to go. Dump it in. I noticed when I dumped it all in, lots of dry ingredients. So before we start giving it a good mix, let's just kind of try to fold some of that over into the wet ingredients. It's gonna make it a little bit easier to mix without that oat flour and everything else we put in there kind of flying up all over the bowl with the wet ingredients. All right, once you get it started a little bit, then you can start really stirring it up. You wanna keep folding it around and folding it around, making sure you incorporate all the dry ingredient into the wet ingredient. Right now it seems like it's gonna be a little dry, but as I've learned, whenever mixing anything for a baking recipe, you keep stirring and stirring and eventually it's all gonna incorporate. So we're gonna do that right now, give it a good solid mix. And just like I thought, I kept mixing and mixing, it's all incorporated. Oh, oven's ready. It's all incorporated and we're ready to go. Let's start putting these into our muffin tray. All right, so we have our muffin tray already filled with our little liners here, ready to go. What we're gonna do is put about 1/4 cup of the batter into each one of these. It's supposed to make 10. I have 12 here. We'll see if this is a little different than the blueberry muffins where we were actually able to squeeze out 12. We'll see if we actually measure it out with this, if it actually comes out to the 10 that Coach Greg says it will. So I was able to fill up 12 muffin cups and we actually still had a little bit of the batter left over. I'm thinking that's maybe 2 more muffins that you could get out of this at this size. But what I'm gonna do is just throw these into a little muffin tray and we're gonna cook them up as well. But it seems like my theory is correct that muffins are actually bigger in Canada. I don't know. One of you said no, but based on Coach Greg's recipes, I have to say they must be. So I know I said I was going to use a mini muffin tray, but as I was going to grab that, I realized I have this little donut tray here, and I'm thinking, why don't we try and make little donut muffin cakes out of these? I think if they taste anything like carrot cake, like I'm hoping, might be great to make a nice anabolic frosting to put on top. So we're going to experiment to see how they cook up here. All right, let's get these in the oven. We have our oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 177 Celsius. What we're gonna do is pop these into the oven now for 20 minutes and let them cook up. Let's put them in. Alright guys, just took these out of the oven. They smell absolutely delicious. They have to cool now for 20 minutes and then we're gonna do our taste test. But man, they look so freaking good. It is incredible. It literally smells like carrot cake. In case you're wondering how the donut version turned out, probably needed to cook for a little less time. A little experiment here with the extra batter that we had. But man, these are gonna be so good, I think. We'll take a look. Okay, well, here we are again for another taste test. These just finished cooling for our 20-minute mark. So now we're gonna give them a try, and looking at them now as they are in front of me, I think I probably didn't need to make these 2 extra little donuts. I probably could have just stuffed the rest of the batter inside these little muffin cakes. And I'm noticing with these muffin recipes that they don't really rise up and over like a traditional muffin with flour in it probably would. So I don't think you really need to worry about that. So maybe, just maybe, you could do this in 10 muffin cups if you wanted to. You don't have to really worry about overfilling them so much. So maybe next time on the next muffin recipe, I might try that. Either way, we were able to get 12 muffins out of this and 2 donuts. And man, it smells like carrot cake. So I'm very, very excited to try these. We're just gonna dive right in and take a look. We're gonna grab the one again that's closest to me. And we're gonna take our little wrapper off here. Comes off pretty easy. As soon as I say that, of course. All right, okay. That's what the muffin looks like there. Do our little moisture test here. Oh yeah. Oh guys. Oh boy. Look at that. Look at how moist that looks. Oh my goodness. Doesn't seem like these are gonna be too dry. Let's give the old taste test, shall we? All right, let's get a good half. Very tasty, very tasty. Definitely very sweet, and they're not dry at all. These are very moist, just like the blueberry muffins were. It's got a really good flavor, really good texture. I know you're probably worried about there's carrots in it, and maybe you're not a vegetable person, you don't want to eat vegetables with your baked goods, but honestly, the carrots, you don't even really notice them. They're really just there to add texture. It gives you a little bit of a crunch when you bite into it. Even the apple, very subtle flavoring. It's more there just for the sweetness in the apple than anything else. These are really good. Oh yeah, you make this, you're not gonna be unhappy at all. I think it's Texturally great, perfectly moist. I did the toothpick test right at the 20-minute mark. I stuck the toothpick right in the middle muffin when it was in the oven and nothing came out after, so definitely got the perfect amount of moisture at the 20-minute mark, so I would definitely hold that. I think having them rest, cool off for 20 minutes is the perfect amount of time because they're still warm now, so if you're having them fresh, still warm, but not fearing, of course, that it would be like our cinnamon raisin squares that we definitely need to redo that recipe. Again, suggestions keep coming in. Can't wait to redo that one. But yeah, this is perfect. This is cooked great. I wish that I wish Coach Greg mentioned for the cinnamon raisin squares to let them cool for 20 minutes. I think that would have been a totally different ending, even though I used the loaf pan. That doesn't seem to be the way to go. But again, I digress. These are incredible. You must try these. And you know what? One's just not enough. I'm gonna flash up the macros here so you guys can see how great these are, but oh my God, no brainer. I'm gonna dig into another one here and we're gonna keep rolling because these are that good that I absolutely have to keep trying them. I am noticing a little bit that the cupcake liner is sticking a little bit to the muffin. You probably noticed that when I ate the first one. But what I recommend that you do is definitely spray the liners with a little bit of nonstick. It'll help them peel off much easier. But man, these are fantastic. I had to dig into a second one, as I said before, because they are that good. The moisture is perfect. If I'm comparing these to the blueberry muffin, I want to say these are on par with the blueberry muffins. Depending on what you like in terms of flavors, these are sweet enough, they're moist enough, they cooked up great. Definitely recommend them. You gotta try them. Blueberry muffins I think are still a little bit better than these, but that's because, hey, they're blueberry muffins. It's a classic, so can't go wrong there. Oh yeah, it just tastes like just how a muffin should. For the macros, these are a no-brainer. I mean, you could probably have 2 or 3 of these divided by 10 or 12, it doesn't really matter. Or if you made some donuts, you can do that too. Thank God for Coach Greg, because now we can have cake for breakfast and not feel guilty about it. Yeah, you guys gotta try this one. Absolute must. Let me know if you do. Mention in the comments down below. Greg nailed another muffin for sure. This is it. All right, guys. Well, if I stay here and do this taste test any longer, I'm gonna end up eating all these muffins, and although the macros are great, over 1,000 calories here. You can't have that in a sitting. Maybe some of you can. I can't. Anyway, I digress again. 8.1 out of 10. Yeah, 8.1. That's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna get going, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, so I couldn't help myself. I keep talking about these donuts, and I have to try a little bit of makeshift frosting on these. So I just quickly went back into the kitchen. I threw some casein powder and some sweetener into a bowl, and then I mixed it up with a little bit of water. And I'm gonna just slab it on this thing, and we're gonna try it, because I just gotta know if it's any better with this stuff on it or not. So let's get this on here. 2 recipes in one here. You got yourself a donut tray, you make a little bit of anabolic frosting, and you're good to go. All right, let's give this one a try. Yeah, just like I thought. It's a freaking winner. You gotta try this, along with the muffins. Just gave you guys two recipes for one in here. You got your carrot apple muffins and your carrot apple donuts. Oh my God, unbelievable. Cooking's so much fun, man. This is why you gotta love to cook. Oh man, I know it's why I love to cook. Delicious. All right, guys, I'm leaving for real now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Guys, I almost forgot. Buy this freaking cookbook, would you?